had.
Okay. All right now. Talk that talk. All right. How long have you known? You said you was one of the prettiest girls he ever had. All right. So does that mean y'all used to date?
Yes.
Okay. When did you all date?
Since 2021.
And are you all still dating now? Just yes or no?
I don't know.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you own guns?
Yes.
Right. How many guns have you owned? Or do you own currently?
Probably like 7, 6, I think.
Specifically, I want to ask you, have you ever owned an FN-57 pistol?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember when did you purchase that gun?
December.
December
I
of
don't
what
know.
year?
I don't remember the year.
Okay. Have you had the opportunity to look at the receipt from that purchase?
Earlier.
Okay. Will looking at a copy of that receipt help refresh your memory as to what year and when you purchased that weapon?
Yes.
All right. Permission to approach, Your Honor?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 425 VV. Tell me, do you recognize 425 VV?
Yes.
Okay. And let me ask you, does that look like the receipt from when you purchased an FN-57?
Yes.
And I see that you're flipping through it. Does that look like the application you filled out when you went to go purchase your weapon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Your Honor, this time the state would like to admit 425 VV into evidence.
All right, that's admitted.
Looking at 425 VV, what is the date of purchase?
December 23rd, 2021.
And do you see on that receipt a serial number or an SN number?
No. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I see it.
What is the serial number listed on the receipt?
386-409-184.
All right. I'm going to show you what's been admitted as 221 VV. It's going to be kind of tiny. I want you to tell me, do you see a serial number on 221 VV on the bottom?
Yes.
What is that serial number?
386-409-184.
Is that the same serial number that's
Yes.
on the receipt?
Yes, ma'am.
What color is that gun?
I think it's all black.
And does this look like the gun that you purchased?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you, and back in March of 2022, did you allow Shannon to use that gun?
No.
Did you ever give that gun to Shannon?
No.
Were you aware that he had possession of that gun?
No.
Do you know someone by the name of Demikion Garlington?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know Demikion Garlington?
He dated my friend.
Okay. Do you know if he is a friend of Mr. Jackson
Yes, ma'am.
or Mr. Stillwell? Have you ever spoken to Demikion Garlington on his cellular phone?
Yes.
Have you ever spoken with Mr. Demekion Garlington in March of 2022 about you giving Mr. Stillwell that handgun?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the answer.
She said, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know if you've ever spoken with him?
I spoke to him, but I don't know if I spoke to him about a gun.
Specifically on March 17th, 2022, do you recall speaking to Mr. Garlington about that gun being in Mr. Shannon Stillwell's possession?
I don't remember.
Do you remember ever speaking to Mr. Garlington about the fact that Mr. Stillwell had been arrested on March 17, 2022?
After
Yes
he
or
got
no?
it? Oh, I don't know. No.
Or you don't remember?
I don't remember.
And in that call, do you remember telling Demekion Garlington that the gun he had would be a clean gun because you gave him that gun?
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
I want to take you to March 14th, 2022. Did you ever go to an Alamo rental car facility at the airport with Shannon to rent a vehicle?
Yes,
And who was the renter of the vehicle?
it was me, but we had to switch it because I don't have a credit card. So, Shannon.
So did Shannon rent the vehicle?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 188 VV and 189 VV. First, looking at 188 VV, is that you inside of that vehicle?
It looked like me.
And what type of car did y'all rent in March of 2022?
I don't know.
Do you remember renting a white Audi vehicle?
I didn't rent it.
Okay. Do you remember being with Mr. Stillwell Jackson when he rented the white Audi vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And looking at this picture, 188 VV, does the car appear to have any tint on the vehicle at this time?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know. It looked like it on the back.
Okay. Are you able to see inside of the car through the glass?
Ma'am.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Pull that mic over to you and try to talk directly into it if you don't mind for us.
And is that Mr. Stillwell Jackson sitting next to you in the passenger seat?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in March of 2022, where were you living?
Still.
And specifically around March 14, 2022, were you and Mr. Jackson staying in any hotels in the Douglasville area of Georgia?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember when you began staying in hotels in the Douglasville area?
I don't remember the day.
How long were you staying in hotels?
We was staying in a hotel since March 9th.
March 9th. Why were you staying in hotels since March 9th of 2022?
Because these girls tried to rob me.
Did you know who these girls were?
No, ma'am.
Do you know if these girls were affiliated with any gangs?
I don't know.
You said you started staying there on March 9th, 2022. Do you remember if you stayed at the hotels a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Do you remember at all?
It was like 3 hotels. It was. Oh, you want me to keep going?
You stayed at 3 different hotels.
Yes, ma'am.
Over the course of how long? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Do you remember?
It was probably like until he got locked up.
On March 17th. Yes. Okay. Course indulgence for one moment. For Demekion Garlington, did you have a nickname that you called him?
Scarface.
Any other nickname?
I didn't call him that, but I know his other nickname,
What's that?
Lil D.
And then did you call him Jackson or Stillwell?
Both.
Okay. Does he have a nickname?
Bay.
Oh, that's okay. That's your nickname. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Did you ever hear people call him SB?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And in March of 2022, did you have a vehicle that you owned?
Yes, ma'am.
And what type of vehicle is that?
Scat Pack Charger.
And did Mr. Jackson have a vehicle that he owned in March of 2022?
We shared the car.
And it was that you shared that Charger?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no further questions, Roman.
Miss Alexander. Good afternoon. Hey, we've met before, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me start out with. I'm not trying to embarrass you. Okay.
Okay.
In your relationship with Shannon from 2021 to when he was arrested, were there issues, thank you, with infidelity?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. My mom messed up. Yes, sir.
Okay.
2 times.
You said 2 times? Okay. And at some point throughout your relationship, had you gone through his phone?
Yes.
Okay. When you went through his phone, you were looking for other women that he was messing with, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did he openly let you look at his phone? Or was he protective of his phone?
He wasn't there when I looked in it.
Okay.
So he gave me the password.
Let me ask you this. When he was arrested on March 17, 2022, did you have interest in looking at his phone to see what he had going on?
No. I didn't have his phone.
No, I didn't say did you have his phone. I know you didn't have his phone.
Oh, did I
What-
want to?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So March 17, 2022, you want, one of the things you want to do is look at his phone
Yes.
and what he has going on inside his phone.
Yes, sir.
All right. Cool. Now, You said something interesting on direct about being robbed. When were you robbed?
What day?
Yes.
Like the 9th, 10th?
March 9th or 10th of 2022?
I think it was March 9th.
March 9th of 2022? Okay. And Miss Alexander, at that time you were working in a cash industry, correct? And by that I mean you would get paid in cash and you would tend to have cash on you, correct?
I dance.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So at that time you were a dancer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as a dancer you get paid cash, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that robbery happened at night, correct?
Yes, sir.
Shannon wasn't with you when you got robbed?
No.
Okay. And this robbery...
I didn't get robbed. They tried to rob me.
They tried to rob you. I'm sorry. They did try to rob you. And this attempted robbery, this is all on video, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And people hid out and waited for you to walk down a hallway, and then they charged you with weapons, correct?
They charged me? They charged at me?
Yeah, they charged at you.
Yes.
Okay. And because you were being robbed, you
Shot him.
shot at them.
Shot her.
Oh, you shot her. Okay. All right. Now, ultimately, the people that were trying to rob you on that video were charged, correct?
Yes, sir.
By the police?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you were never charged because you were acting in self-defense.
Yeah, I didn't get charged.
Okay. But on March 9th of 2022, after someone tried to rob you and take your money from you, you became concerned for your safety, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
You became concerned that people were looking out for you, correct?
Yeah, clearly.
You were concerned that people were going to try to, for some reason, get revenge on you, even though all you were doing was defending yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And beginning on March 9th, 2022, you started having concerns about people being able to know what kind of car you were driving, correct?
Yes.
And knowing where you lived, correct?
Yes.
And that was all stemming from the March 9th, 2022 incident, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after the March 9th, 2022 incident, you certainly let Shannon know about what happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you decided, even though you had a Scat Pack Charger, that's a fancy car, right?
Yeah.
Even though and that Scat Pack Charger had tinted windows, did it not?
The worst tint you could get.
The darkest tint you could get.
Yeah.
Okay, but even though you had that Scat Pack Charger with the tinted windows, you decided that you needed to get a rental, correct?
Hell yeah.
And you went and got a rental shortly after March 9th, 2022, correct?
Yeah, like, I don't know if it was the next day. I can't remember.
Okay, and do you remember where you got your rental from?
On Thornton Road, but I think it was Enterprise.
Okay. I beg the court's indulgence just for a moment. And what kind of car did you get, if you recall?
It was like a SUV or something. I don't remember that. I don't know.
And that was to switch it up in case someone from the March 9th incident was coming
Following.
to harm you.
Yes, sir.
All right. And that's also why you got a hotel room, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, around this time, well, actually a couple of days later, Shannon also got a rental, correct?
Yes, sir.
And And he walked right into the store with you, and you guys dealt with the cashier, and he gave over his ID and his payment, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you about your Scat Pack. Even to this day, you had that car until recently, correct?
I still got it.
Okay, you still have it. Even to this day, you've continued to get that car wrapped, correct?
Every 3 months.
Every 3 months, you get the car wrapped. What is wrapping a car?
The car color orange, but I keep switching it up.
Okay.
Keep getting a different color.
And why do you keep getting a different color?
Cause I don't know who them girls was.
Right. So even to this day, you keep switching the colors of your car that you own,
Yeah.
just to keep yourself safe.
Yes, sir.
And you got those windows tinted to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me ask you about tint. You've gotten tint on cars before.
Every car I get.
Okay. When you go and get tint, and when they install the tint, do they tell you not to roll down your window for 24 to 48 hours?
Yes.
Okay. And if you roll down your window within that time, it can cause the tint to be damaged or bubble up, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if you were to get tint on, say, March 14th of 2022, that those windows are not to be rolled down in order to protect the tint, correct?
Yes.
And if they are rolled down, you could see bubbling in the tint, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One last thing, Ms. Alexander, and I appreciate you being here. I'm going to take you back to March 14th of 2022. Do you remember early in the morning of March 15th reaching out to Shannon to tell him about news that you had learned about a shooting in Mechanicsville?
Yes.
Okay. And did you reach out to tell Mr. Stillwell about that shooting, or did Mr. Stillwell reach out to tell you about that shooting?
I told him.
Okay. And tell me how you found out about that shooting so quickly.
On this girl page, she was riding past.
Say it one more time.
On this girl page, she was riding past.
Okay. So
But it was on Instagram.
I understand your answer as a girl that you know was riding past Windsor Street and saw the police out there?
Yeah, it was police out there.
Okay, and then this person reached out or put on Instagram. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
and then it was, yeah.
Okay. All right. By the early morning hours of March 15th, it was not a secret that a shooting had occurred on Windsor Street, was it?
No, it was all over Instagram.
Okay. And you were concerned about Shannon's safety, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Redirect.
You talked about your car, the cars that you get, you tint all of your cars, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Are those your personal vehicles?
Yeah.
Okay. Not your rental vehicles.
No.
You talked about renting a vehicle probably right after March 9th at the Enterprise. Is that fair? What kind of car did you rent at the Enterprise?
I don't remember.
What was
It
it?
was like
SUV?
yeah.
Did you ever get tints on that SUV?
No,
And you kind of frowned up your face. Why'd you do that?
ain't my car.
So it's safe to say you wouldn't get tints on a car that's not yours.
Not my car.
Now, when you went with Shannon to get the Audi, did you ever go with him to get tints on the Audi?
No,
And you frowned up your face again. Why'd you do that?
I just didn't go with him.
Now, when the Audi was rented, was that for you to drive, for Shannon to drive? What was the purpose of renting the Audi?
It was really for both of us because I was returning my car.
And when you say you returning your car, is that SUV?
Yeah, I was supposed to get the rental car.
Did Shannon ever tell you that he was going to get tints put on the Audi?
I don't remember.
After driving the Audi out of the rental facility, where did you go?
To my car,
Which car is that?
my Charger.
Where was the Charger at?
At the airport.
So did you drive the Charger to the airport? And then you all picked up the Audi from the airport?
What? Yeah. I was following him.
Okay. If you were in your Charger, before you get to the airport, if you're in the Charger, what car was Mr. Jackson driving?
The rental car.
The SUV.
We
Is
was
that-
going. Yeah, we was going to return it, but we didn't know if we could get a car, so we didn't want to be stranded there. We couldn't get it.
Okay. So you take the SUV and return the SUV to the Enterprise at the airport, and then you go to the Alamo to go rent the Audi
At the airport.
at the airport. All right. Once you drive out of the airport rental facility in the Audi, and you get back into your Charger, do you ever drive that Audi again?
Probably around Douglasville or something. I don't know. I don't remember.
The robbery that happened on March 9th, where did that occur?
Mechanicsville.
In Mechanicsville? Were you staying in Mechanicsville at the time?
No.
Where were you when the robbery took place?
Hmm?
Where were you?
In the stairway.
Of where? An apartment, a house?
Apartment.
Whose apartment?
My friend.
Do you know any individuals who are members or associates of YFN, the Young Fly N-Words gang?
Yeah.
Okay. Who?
I stayed over there.
You stayed over at Summerhill?
Yeah.
When did you stay in Summerhill?
Since 2018.
Do you know a person, I might pronounce the name wrong, Teedrick Glass?
I heard of him.
Have you ever met him?
Hmm?
Have you ever met him?
We had something going on.
Okay. Did that mean y'all kind of dated or something like that at one point? All right. Now, Mr. Shar asked you about notifying Mr. Stillwell about the shooting in Mechanicsville on March 14th, or the early morning hours on March 15th. Do you remember him asking you about that?
Yeah.
Okay. When you spoke with Mr. Stillwell, did he ever tell you that he was in the Mechanicsville area around 10 o'clock p.m. that night?
I don't remember that.
Did he ever tell you that that night he was at the BP gas station at around 10 o'clock p.m., the BP gas station in Mechanicsville?
No.
When you spoke to Mr. Stillwell that morning, in the early morning hours, do you know where he was?
Studio?
Do you know where the studio is?
No.
All right. Do you know if he was with anyone?
No.
Let me ask you, do you know if he was with Demekion Garlington at all the day on March 14th, 2022?
No.
Okay. Court's indulgence for a moment. Did you know Christian McMiller and Darius Ford?
No.
Or McMahon or Big?
No.
Court's indulgence. Mr. Shar asked you about when you get tinted windows, you can't roll down the windows. Do you remember him asking you that?
Yes.
Does that prevent you from opening up the door?
No. No.
So you can still open up the door even though you have tints on the window?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Recalls.
Just a couple questions. Miss Alexander, you indicated, I think, that Mr. Stillwell was in the studio in the early morning hours of March 15th, 2022, correct?
That's like 2, 3 in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And in your experience dating Mr. Stillwell was trying to start a rap career. Isn't that fair?
He was making a song about me.
He was making songs about you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure they were lovely. So how many days a week or nights a week would you say
Every day.
he was in the studio?
Every day.
Okay. All right. Thank you. No further questions.
All right. Thank you for your time, Miss Alexander. You are excused.